But yeah, so boys, where do you want to start? Do we want to start at the beginning with Gravity Falls, or do we want to talk about more recent stuff?
Let's just start at the beginning.
So yeah, Gravity Falls. What a what a gem. Alex Hirsch. Thank you, Alex Hirsch, for giving us this show that basically started the newest level, the next incarnation of Disney.
Yeah, no kidding. Just a weird concept of having a show that is not only very episodic, but towards the very end gets very, very linear, but still very good.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I'm trying not to spoil too much about the series, but yeah, it's definitely like a literal monster of the week kind of thing where it's like, oh no, we found a zombie. Oh no, we found gnomes. That's actually the first episode, but still.
Those gnomes are very mean.
they
That
are.
they are very mean.
They're very mean.
So yeah, I'm actually gonna pull a full spoiler warning. Let's just talk about these shows. Some of these shows,
Okay.
it's like full spoiler warning for every show we talk about today. I will put extra spoilers for like Amphibia and Owl House because when we get to those are still airing. Not everyone's probably caught up yet. But Gravity
Yep.
Falls has been out for 10 years. It ended in 2016. You've had enough time to at least know enough about the show.
Yeah, and definitely it's one that before we go into spoiler territories, I definitely would fully recommend this show. Basically, if you are a kid or if you're an adult, there's a lot of jokes that are very, very funny regardless of your age.
Yeah, they literally have an episode where they say, "I'll have you know that this show has a brilliant writing and a great mystery undertone. And there are some jokes that kids just don't get."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the big one.
Classic Disney.
Yeah, Gravity Falls.
I think
We've got our two lead characters, Dipper and Mabel. They're living in the sleepy town of Gravity Falls, Oregon. But Spencer, go ahead and say what you were gonna say before I cut you off.
well, just another thing, just Gravity Falls being the thing that started off Disney's big comeback into like actually like good animated shows that are just well received all around.
Mm.
The other shows that have come out that have been big, Owl House and Amphibia, also have several callbacks to the show.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's one of the biggest callbacks in Amphibia. There's an entire There's an entire episode where they come in contact with the frog version of the Mystery Shack.
Yeah, pretty much. And then for Owl House, it's just very much implied, but never outright stated. Like they want to make the implication, but they're not actually like straight up saying that
They take place at
the
in
woman
same
that
universe.
Stan had like a little fling with was actually Ida of the Owl House. Like there's constantly that stuff going around, but never 100% confirmed or denied.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Gravity Falls just did so much for. It basically was like, okay, we're gonna take a risk with doing something kind of weird. Like the storytelling is fantastic. Character, the character design. This is the start. This is around the time where almost all cartoons have the same Cal Arts Jelly Bean
Yeah.
style. So no, it's not a point against it. It's just it's one of those shows that that it could be misleading if you were just judging it on animation right off the bat.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it definitely towards the end, it gets a lot more horrifying when you think about it, where you literally have Bill go, okay, cool, I'm gonna shuffle all of your senses. And you see ears in the mouth and eyes on the ears, and I'm just like, wow, you just introduced body horror in a children's show. Good job.
Weirdmageddon was such a good cap off for this whole everything. Like the two big finales that this show have. Well, I guess there were three finales because I was confused when they did the hiatus after the reveal of Stanford.
Right.
I was like, so we're in a new season, right? And it's like, no, this is still part of season 2. It was like, bullshit, bullcrap. It's like
Yeah, the show only ran for 2 seasons, and it's really kind of weird to think about that. that there's
Yeah.
only actually 40 episodes of the show.
But yeah, I think they got maybe 10 episodes
Like
a year.
I definitely have the feeling of just like wishing that it had gone on for a little bit longer, because those hiatuses right at the end, they hit really really hard. Like
Yes.
they just it didn't quite right. It was kind of on the similar level of hiatus that what was it, Steven Universe on Cartoon Network ended up being,
Yeah.
but it didn't run for anywhere near as long, and it's just like,
Matt, any
One
thoughts?
question for the team then on this. What do you think was your favorite monster out of the show?
Ooh, that's
favorite monster.
a good
Yes,
one.
because I have an answer for mine.
I think, you know what? It's the zombie episode. It's either the zombie episode where they had to sing karaoke to blow their heads up, or it's the ghost episode.
I'd
can
probably
agree.
go
I
with
can understand those.
Ghost. I enjoyed the Ghost in the mansion. Very memorable.
Oh, the one with what was her?
Pacifica.
Northwest.
Yeah, Pacifica.
Yeah, it was that episode definitely stuck in my mind.
Yeah, that one stuck in my mind as well.
Especially that ancient sins scene with all the
All the blood
animal heads
dripping.
mounted on the wall. That was really
Oh yeah,
unexpected
that's
for a Disney show.
That's another
But,
prime example of we can introduce horror into a kid show, right?
Yeah,
It was cool. I didn't see it coming, and it definitely made it memorable.
Oh yeah, very very much so.
What about you, Professor?
For
And gave
me-
some good history on the town itself too. It led well
Yes.
into some of where the story was going.
Definitely.
yeah. I think that one's pretty up there for myself. I don't know. One of the things that sticks in my mind, it's not like a monster, but it was the time traveler episode where
Yes.
they're constantly going back and forth, and Dipper's trying to get on what was her name, Wendy's good side, but as a result kept basically sacrificing Waddles, the pig
the
that
time tape
Mabel-
measure episode.
Yeah,
Yeah, the first time we
like
met...
that episode sticks in my mind because Dipper ultimately had to like give up on all of that in order for Mabel to be happy and
Right.
have Waddles, which introduced Waddles into the story, which was great.
Yeah.
Yep, good old 8-poundy.
Good.
Yeah, that...
No, I do like that episode a lot, but the other key thing about that one is that in episode 2, you actually see him in the background as well. So it's not
Oh, you
something
do?
where it's like, oh yeah, he's actually in the episode.
Wow.
So
I
if you
mean,
go back and watch episode 2, it's not just, haha, we reused footage. It's like, no, they reused footage because he's actually there. You can see him
I-
pick up a shoe.
I didn't realize that.
I mean,
Oh yeah, they actually put a lot of continuity into that
Oh.
show.
yeah.
Now
you
again,
have
to
these are
rewatch
They
shows-
Gravity
planned out a lot of
Falls.
stuff. They really did, and that's not
That's
even
probably one of my
touching on.
favorites about the show.
Yeah,
That's not
they.
even touching on all of the coded messages that they had.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
god, yeah. Every
I loved
single
all the
time.
involvement. Lots of great ways for the community to kind of interact with the show, and Alex Hirsch did some great AMAs on Reddit back in the day. One
Oh,
as
yeah.
himself and one as Bill Cipher. Just they did a great job of getting people involved in the show and figuring out the mysteries and keeping it relevant even when it was hitting through hiatuses.
Yeah, I do think that my favorite monster of the week didn't have too much bearing on the show, but it was Giffany.
Oh my god. Oh,
That was
the-
also very memorable.
It's
Giffany.
weird because like everyone else would be like, "Oh no, it's just Doki Doki Literature Club all over again." It's like this predates it by a few years. And there's one scene where the animatronic is walking forward, and you see Giffany's face walk across the arcade screens like a weird digital shadow. It's just such a great shot, and it was such a hilarious thing where it's like, "Oh, I can learn to be good at dating by this game. This is awesome." And then you just see the little meme of throwing the table just like an actual Japanese person would emote with. It's like, oh, this is fantastic.
So yeah, Giffany is terrifying because it makes once again, since it predated Doki Doki, unless Alex Hirsch is friends with Dan Salvato, and I wouldn't put it past them if they were.
Would you put it past Dan Salvato to look at that and go, huh, I got an idea. Like, I really wouldn't put it past him at all.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. But yeah, it's like it mixes that horror that you get later that you can bring back to the show, but it also has Five Nights at Freddy's fear because it's got the animatronics coming to life.
Yeah. And you can get pizza wrapped ham.
Which is just another type of body horror.
Yeah, that was a fun episode, definitely. And getting more of Seuss. He was usually pretty enjoyable when he was around.
Yeah, I don't really think that there's a weak character in the main bunch. I'm really struggling to think if there was a character that's like, oh god, this person.
I mean, there was Toby Determined, but that was the whole point of his character, to suck.
Right. I mean, like, even old Mega MacGuffin you think is like, okay, he's crazy. It's like, no, MacGuffin was a reason for his name.
Oh my... Well, his name was MacGuffin, but oh my god, he was a MacGuffin. He was a MacGuffin the whole time.
He was a MacGuffin.
Also, how did he hurt his beard? He had a bandage on his beard. Not his face, his beard.
I just kind of took that as just McGucket being McGucket.
I guess.
Well, I think I have a solution to that, because in the episode where we learned about how he erased his memory, we saw that he had a bandage on his chin, and I think the beard just grew so long that it took the bandage with it.
Okay, I'm willing to accept that into canon.
It is acceptable.
He just left it there.
But yeah,
Oh, man.
Gravity Falls
But
is...
yeah, just kind of moving on from all of that. I think the thing that probably impresses most people about Gravity Falls is just like we've been mentioning like bits and pieces of it, of like interesting episodes or just weird scenes, but you don't really realize just how much of a turn Gravity Falls was for Disney. That this, if you had told me that right out the beginning, is like, this thing is going to be on Disney Channel, and this is some like still images from the show,
Yeah.
I would have straight up said, is like, they're not going to do that. That doesn't fit with the quote unquote Disney brand. And the fact that they were actually able to get away with a lot of this stuff and still be on Disney Channel and become as popular as they have just is quite a testament to the writers and how much determination that they had. Ultimately, Disney still continues to be Disney and like not really like give a crap about that. There's a gap in who Disney makes animated shows for. There's like the younger generation, and then you have like the much older generation, like much older years, where all of like the raunchy adult humor comedy stuff comes into play. But in between, there's not as much. There really isn't. So for Gravity Falls to come along and just actually like take hold of that and actually just be like, okay, yeah, younger audience can enjoy it, but there's still plenty in here that an older audience can latch onto and even piece together if they're paying attention.